angel can atone. A paradise you used to call your own. Stolen, then turned against us all, Lord. Until correction, who will I believe? When all I hear is lies, they have to know I won't comply. How can we remain so blind? Falling faster till we fight and cease to resist from night. Then our enemies will die. We are ready for the deception.
Yo. What is up, everybody? How's it going? How's it going? How are ya? How you doing? How are you doing? Oh, man. It's good to be back, y'all. It's good to be back. I have been on a fucking traveling bender for what feels like ever. Feels like forever, but definitely the last month plus. Most of the start of summer here, I have not been home. I've had, even just this whole year, I've had weddings in Mexico. I've had all this shit. And this next 4 weeks is going to be the longest consecutive time I have been at home this entire year, which is crazy to me. And I couldn't be happier about it. The weather is beautiful. We've got 1 month of summer left here. But I want to get to work. I want to get more content coming out for you guys. I feel like the views and the engagement on the videos is dropping. And I think that's for a couple of reasons. I think for lack of consistency, and I think we just need some more variety. So I really want to start and get some more pre-recorded videos back on the YouTube channel, not just streams, right? Pre-recorded videos like I used to do before, some concept videos. I want to spend more time trading. Obviously, price action's been pretty slow. In crypto, doesn't mean there's not other markets that have been moving, but it's the summer kind of doldrums, which is okay. But I just want to kind of get things popping again. I want to get geared up for that eventual bull run, that we're going to be in. I want the views, the engagement to be popping. We're just at about 40,000 subscribers on YouTube, which is awesome. I want to keep that number going up only. And I want to get back to kind of my more consistent posting schedule. I want to just get more consistent in my life again. Less traveling, eating better, going to the gym more consistently. When I'm doing those things, I trade better. I make more money. I make more money when I have a routine that I'm sticking to. I'm not as good at trading or just, operating in general when I'm outside of my routine. So I'm happy to be home for the next little while. And it's going to be to your guys' benefit because there's going to be a lot of stuff coming out from me over the next month. And I've got some really exciting stuff that I'm working on that should probably be available to you guys, in the next couple months here. I've got that algorithm bot that I've been working on, with a dev and another friend, which is going to automate. It's going to automate a lot of the stuff that I do, for you guys, which I think is really exciting. So I've been working really hard on this over the last little while. And basically how I trade, the price action stuff that I look for. So SFPs, breakers, order blocks, market structure levels, things like that. All of it is going to be automated by this indicator that I've been working on for some time now, to the point where we can even tell you, when to enter a trade and where to exit that trade just based on my system, which I think is pretty cool. I've got another thing I'm working on that I'm keeping a little bit more stealth, but I'll let you guys in on it soon. But lots of good stuff coming up, including obviously more videos. So, really looking forward to finishing off the summer and this year really strong. I'm feeling very motivated and rejuvenated. I'm excited to be home. Mic is in and out when you move your head. You can fix in the settings. Is anyone else having that experience that the mic is not consistent? If so, let me know. But yeah, so let's get going here, guys. Standard markets with Mayne video today. Not a ton to update, unfortunately. We've been in this range for a handful of days now, and we've been in this larger range for over a month now. So we've had some moves up and some moves down, and we're trading kind of below this consolidation now. But overall, we've been trading between 29 and 31,000, like a $2,000 range basically, for the last month. So it's been a little boring, but I have a very clear plan for Bitcoin and how I'm planning to trade it, given whatever happens. So up or down, it's going to be pretty straightforward, and I'll share it with you guys here. And what you want to do with that information obviously is completely up to you. But if you trade how I trade, I'm going to give you the exact levels I'm looking at and the exact scenarios that I'll be looking for to occur at those levels to get into any trades. Okay. So we have a monthly candle that just closed. So, oops. So July is now over. Okay, July is now over. It's now August. This is now August candle. So what happened? Well, in July, we took out June's high. And we closed below June's close. Okay, so we took out the high and closed below. Purely from a monthly view. Okay, when I see something like this happen, a lot of the time, the next target is that previous month's low. Took out June's high, closed below, next target, previous month low. Not every time, but let's just look on Bitcoin here. Every time we've taken out the previous month's high, what happened? So in this candle, took out the previous month's high, the low was untouched. This candle took out the last high, the low was untouched. Here, though, took out the high. Next, it took out the low. Right? Took out the previous month's high. Eventually went and took out the low, but in the following month. Took out the previous month's high. Took out the previous month's low. Took out the previous month's high. Took out the last month's low. Took out the high. Took out the low. So we have, here's one where it didn't. I won't count this one because it didn't take out the high and close below. So here it closed through the high, but all of these instances, it traded above the high and closed below. Okay, here's one that did not. Took out the high, but didn't take out the low. So out of all these examples here, we have took out the month's low, did not, did, it did, it did, it did, it did not, and it did not. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 out of the last 8 times that we've taken out the previous month's high and closed below it on the next monthly candle, we then proceed to take out the low. So a little more than half. Okay, so generally what you'll find is when the market is in a downtrend, that's when this is going to happen more often than not. As you can see here in the uptrend, right? Not happening. But when the market is bearish, more often than not, we see this trend persist. So to me, I think from a monthly perspective, there is a decent probability that June's low could be the next target for price if we are going to have another sell-off. So what do you do with that information? To me, it's very simple. This gives you a clear range in which to operate in. So if you take your fib and pull from the high to the low, okay, and then we zoom in, okay, and we'll just, sorry, I'm going to do, redo that here. I can do that better. I can do it better. Okay. So 24799.5. 24/7. Okay. Actually, I know what to do because I'm super duper smart. Okay, where's June's high? That's July. So there's June's high. And where's the low of June? Down here. Okay. And we change this to EQW. There you go. So you have a very clear range to now operate in. And so now just using that monthly candle, we can now frame all the analysis that we do on the low time frame. So the premise is that I think that there is a good chance that we trade down to here. Well, now that we have the fib on here showing June's range, Well, how do we trade ranges? We took out the range high. What becomes the next target? Yeah, maybe the range low, but more immediately is the mid-range. Okay, so we have the mid-range being the next target, in my opinion. And if you actually go here to the weekly, what is right at that mid-range level? That breaker that I've been talking about, right? So we have our up candle before down move that took out a low, right? This candle swept this low here. Okay. This became a breaker. So if you go down to the 12-hour now, you can see the top of this breaker lines up exactly with the mid-range. And so you could say, okay, well, let me just refine this down to a area, small area here. So these old highs, right? This order block, and then the mid-range of June's candle. This gives you a level of interest here. So as you guys know, I'm short already, okay? So I shorted based on the weekly SFP that we had up here, and then the market structure break that we had here. So this 12-hour breaker, okay, right here, my entry is right here. So I posted about this in Discord and Telegram. I posted it in the Haven. So I'm short based on the weekly SFP up here, weekly SFP. We also ran June's high, right? Then down on the 12-hour, I marked out the breaker that ran the SFP. And that was my entry. Now, I wanted to add more size because I thought maybe we were engineering some highs here. And I thought maybe this move up might take those highs out. And then maybe we sell off. But we've kind of just sold off, right? We've made another low. So I don't know if we come back up and take these highs before trading lower anymore. So I don't know if I'm going to get any more size, right? But my entry was based just simply on this 12-hour breaker. And you could go down to the hourly and you could find a lower time frame entry here. I didn't. I literally took my trade based on the 12-hour breaker. My entry's slightly better than this. Right? And I'm just targeting the mid-range. That's the entire setup. So I'm short up here. To me, the logical place to TP is going to be coming into this level here. And then this is the level where I think the bulls need to step in. So I've talked about that breaker, which I had marked, which was that huge area on the weekly. But we've refined it down to this smaller area. And then I think this fair value gap is also something of interest right here. So to me, this becomes the critical area. If we are going to continue to sell off, maybe we pump up a little bit into here and then make another low. This is where I would be scaling out of my short position. And if this happens, by the way, on the H1, if you see a setup form, right? A high, a higher high, and then a shift, you could take that as your short entry with your target at the mid-range, right? If you're not in. So if you're not short now, if we get some sort of move up like I just described here on the H1, right? If we get some sort of move up here over the coming days into this order block here, I think you could then use that as your short entry with a target of here. But for now, let's assume that we do that and then we come down here. This is where I'd be scaling out of my shorts. And then between this zone and this fair value gap right here, this is where I would want to see the bulls step in right away. Because if we start spending any significant time below 28,111.8 or whatever the mid-range of June's candle is on your chart, we start spending significant time below here, I think the likelihood of us trading down to June's low is exponentially higher. So I'll want to be holding some of this short in case we do sell off, and then I'll be looking to compound if we do not show strength. But what I'm looking for as a bull in this zone, so this gray box plus this fair value gap here, is I want to see bullish price action. Maybe that occurs right here, right? We get a low and then some bullish PA, right? Maybe we get a low, lower low, right? All of this, what I'm drawing here, I'm not necessarily looking at on the 12-hour. I'm going to be looking on the H4, the H1, the lower time frames. I'm looking for this type of PA to form around this area. So I tweeted this like a week ago. I said 27.5 to 28K is where I'm looking for the dip to go to. And then I'm hoping we get a big bounce from there. Whether that bounce takes us to a new high or that bounce takes us to here and then we reject again, I don't know. I don't need to figure out that many moves in advance. I'm just trying to predict, the next 1 to 2 moves where I can actually take a trade. So right now, my prediction is down to here and I'm short. And then when we get here, my prediction is a bounce. So I'm going to be looking for opportunities to get long when we get to that area of interest. So one of the reasons many of you are going to be struggling right now, people are going to be chopping themselves up. They're going to be taking ill-advised trades. They're going to be giving a lot of money that maybe they made here back to the market when we're just kind of going sideways. It's because you don't have a plan, right? So one of the easiest ways to reduce FOMO, to reduce over trading, is to have very clear levels of where you want to trade. If you have clear areas of interest where you want to trade, when price is not at those areas, you don't do anything. That's why you see me tweeting out what video games are guys playing right now. What's a good TV show I should be watching? Like, I'm taking the time to do that other stuff in between. Like, just as important as it is to have your, trading routine, the reason I like the way that I trade is it's not an everyday thing. It doesn't have to be. I can look at the charts for a few minutes and get a pretty good idea whether or not I'm going to have to do anything today. There are people whose entire trading career is day trading, right? So they are getting in the charts at 6 a.m. or 9 a.m., wherever you live, when the New York session opens. They're taking 1 or 2 trades during that session, and then they're done for the day. So their work is concentrated to the morning, and then they have the rest of the day to do their prep, to chill, to work out, to enjoy their life and their hobbies. My workflow is a little different, right? I'm doing the content shit. That's sure. Let's leave that aside. But from a trading perspective, it sometimes takes days or weeks for a price to get to the areas that I'm interested in trading because I'm doing my analysis on the 12-hour chart, right? If someone's doing their analysis on the 15-minute and the 5-minute, there's going to be a whole lot more opportunities. It doesn't mean one way is better than the other. It's just different, right? So what I'm doing is chilling right now. Like, if you go look at my last handful of tweets outside of the shit posts, and again, this is why I highly suggest, if you're not already, get in my Telegram. It's my pinned tweet, because if you want just the charts and not the posts about me going to music festivals and just shit posts and things like that, if you just want the charts, Telegram is the cleanest feed for that. But what you'll find, right, is my updates have been pretty basic. No plan. I'm already in the short. Now I just wait. How I trade is not going to work for everyone. Some people need that constant action, right? It just doesn't work for me. It stresses me out too much. I already am stressed out enough with crypto because there's so many things going on, like bald coin going for 40,000%, and then this thing getting rugged, and then this happening. And there's already so many things going. The last thing I need to be doing right now is trading on the 5-minute chart. But that's just me, right? Some people, that's where they live, and they want to be able to make their money in the morning and then get the fuck out of there, right? So to each their own. But what I like about how I trade is there's lots of time to make your decisions, right? And obviously you got to execute when the time is right. But then when you're not at an area of interest, like we are right now, we're in the middle of nowhere for me. So if you've looked at my updates, I've basically said I'm looking for a run of a low, right? Or a move up into here and maybe a run of one of these highs. So like something like this, right? Or a move down to here. And unless we're interacting with any of those levels, I'm not doing anything. So it's hard to give you updates when nothing's changed for me. I've been short for, like 10 days, almost 2 weeks I've been short already, and I'm just chilling. Sometimes, I would like things to move faster, but it is what it is, right? So when you have those predefined levels and you know exactly what levels you want to do business at and where they are and what you want to see when we get there, it makes your life a whole lot more chill. And so I've just given you an outline of exactly how I came to these levels. June's range, SR, fair value gap. This is where I think the area for the bounce to occur will happen if it's going to happen. So however we get there, whether it's like this, maybe we get one more push up and then a larger sell-off. I don't know. Maybe we just sell off from here. All I know is I know exactly what I'm looking for when we get to this area, right? I'm looking for a low time frame buy signal, whether it's a breaker, whether it's just simply an order block, but I'm looking for that to come in around this area. Another thing I would consider is a move below the mid-range and then a reclaim. So if it gets below the mid-range and then reclaims it, easy. The deviation is your stop. The reclaim is your entry, right? And then I would target up into here initially, right? Back up into this kind of 29.5 to 30K area. And then we see. So that's a very detailed and straightforward plan of exactly what I'm looking for to happen on Bitcoin based on the high time frame, based on that monthly range. This is where the bulls need to hold if we're going to trade higher. It doesn't mean we have to come down here. We can trade higher from here. But if we come down here, they need to hold this area, because failure to hold this area, then I'm very confident we trade back to June's low. And if we trade back to June's low, like if we do something like this, the next bounce, I think then ends up with a rip even lower, right? So it becomes very ugly if that happens. So if you're super bullish on Bitcoin right now, I think that you do not want to see it spend any significant time below 28K. Okay? Now, from a more short-term day trade perspective, I gave you that as well, right? We have our new 12-hour zone here. So I'm just looking at this and I'm saying, okay, we've got a fresh 12-hour range here. There's your high. There's your low. I'm interested in either shorting the gray box or a move above the high and back in, or longing a sweep of the low. That's my day trade plan. So I just talked about my high time frame analysis, swing trade based on the monthly. From a day trading perspective, if we get a run above these highs into this order block, if it's really bullish, or not really bullish, but if it's really strong, it might sweep this high. But then if we reject, these are both areas where I'd be looking for shorts. If we sweep the range low here, I would be interested in longing. We did run the low here, but we didn't run the range low, so I didn't take a long based on here. I think there is a long that could be justified here, and I'll show you that in a second, but I didn't take it. If we sweep the range low, then I would look for a long if it happens. Otherwise, no trades. So I want to see a bounce up and then a short, or I want to see a sweep of the low, and then I'd look to long it into this order block. Otherwise, I'm chilling. If it just rolls over from here and then holds below the low, I'm not touching it until it gets down to that mid-range. So that's kind of my day trade plan for Bitcoin, as well as some alpha on how I break down the charts. I just went from the monthly to the weekly down to the 12-hour to give you my game plan for a day trade, because again, on the 12-hour chart, this move up here and then a potential short, well, this I'm looking for on like the H4, H1. I'm not looking for this on the H12, because on the H12, it might just be one can. It might just look like this. touch it, and then reject. How do you get in there, right? The low time frame is where you get that entry. Okay? So that's the game plan for Bitcoin, and that's my analysis for Bitcoin. Super duper fucking straightforward. Now, if I go back and I delete a bunch of this shit that I had here, you'll see I had some different levels on here when this video started. Before all of this foolishness. Here we go. Okay. But you'll see now they're basically the same levels, right? So I marked out the breaker right there. Okay. I marked out the high that got SFP'd. And this level basically is the exact same as that level on the monthly, right? This range that we have from this high getting swept and this low getting swept, right? This is almost the mid-range, which lines up perfectly with June's range. It's the same thing. So I've given you two separate ways to see it, right? But the June's candle method is going to be the easiest for you to replicate. But the plan remains the same. And again, this is the chart I've been posting in Telegram, right? Just saying, hey, if we run above this high or below that low, I might be interested. Now, the day trade I saw here that could be in process and might be the juice that we need to get up into here. We have a 12-hour sweep here. Go down to the hourly. Here's your breaker. Here's your market structure break right there. Retesting that zone, that breaker right now. So you could argue, and I posted this on Telegram and I posted this in the Haven as well. You could argue that this is your long right here that's going to take us up into that order block there where the short might occur. So the reason I did not take this long personally is because the range that we're working in here on Bitcoin is a down leg. So I'm interested in shorting in the upper part of the range. The only time I'd be interested in longing in a down leg is if we swept the low. Otherwise, I want to be focused on shorting near the highs. And it's the reverse for an up leg. If price is making an up leg, right, like this, yes, I can short this and hope to trade it back into here, but my anticipation is a higher high. So in reality, I'm more interested in looking for longs down here because any short I'm taking here is counter trend, right? And that's exactly what I'm talking about here. I believe longs right here are counter trend. I think any bounce we get is into a lower high. So yeah, you can take the long, but it's not with the trend, so it's not as high of a probability trade for me. Doesn't mean you can't take it. The risk reward is there. I posted about it this morning in Telegram. I posted at 10:40 a.m. Right? So I said, I think from here, there's your breaker. I think that can push us up there. And as you can see, we're starting to get that bounce right now. Maybe it plays out. And if it does, I'm not going to be like, oh God, I wish I longed. I don't care. It didn't fit my rules. I didn't want to take the trade. And it's also Monday, right? So I like to let Monday's range usually form. And as you can see, there's Monday's low. Here's Monday's high. So let's see if we get a trade. Maybe tomorrow we run Monday's low. That is a long I would take. Or maybe this plays out. We run Monday's high and then we get back inside. Well, guess what? Now you've got your short plan that I discussed. Okay, so I've given you my monthly high time frame analysis and reasoning. I broke it down to the 12-hour. I gave you some day trade ideas on Bitcoin here for what I'm looking for short term in terms of possible trades for this week even, right? With the very clear levels of above this high or below this low or possibly above this high. I've laid all that out for you and I've given you the knowledge on why I'm marking these levels and exactly what I'm looking for when we get to those levels. So I don't know who else is giving you this kind of detail and insight into their system, but this is exactly what I plan on doing. So if this works out and I post my short and say, I fucking told you so. It's not that I'm not going to out of nowhere be like, oh, I shorted the top. Like I tell you guys what I'm doing. And if it works, I tell you. And if it doesn't work, I tell you as well. And it becomes quite obvious. I'm not the person who's silent. And then when a trade goes in their direction, they're like, fucking told you so. It's like, well, no, you didn't. You didn't tell me you were short. So I try and make it super transparent for you guys, right? Like this is exactly how I fucking trade. It's that simple. Okay. I mean, it's not simple. There's a lot of complexities to it and it takes work and stuff like that, but it's not an overly complicated system. And what someone said here, which I think is very interesting, funny how often levels line up across different styles of analysis. Exactly. Right? Exactly. So I can mark up the chart 10 different ways, but usually the key levels, regardless of how I mark the chart up, are generally the same. Right? This guy said that's a $300 range, brother. I don't know what you're talking about. Are you talking about this being a $300 range? Are you talking about this? Because this is a $1,000 range. I don't know what you're talking about. But yeah, I try and break things down for you guys as much as possible because I want you to be able to replicate this shit in your own charts. Like, I'm not going to be doing this forever. Like, there's going to be a point in time where I don't want to post videos anymore or something like that. Who knows, right? God forbid something happens, or I just don't want to do it anymore. I want to give you guys the tools to do this shit yourself. I don't want you to be reliant on me or anybody else. Okay? So, super clear. Now, one other alternative scenario that can happen is obviously we can get some sort of pump from here or lower and finally run this high here, right? So everyone's been looking at this 32K high, right? Waiting for it to get fucking taken out. Still hasn't happened, right? We've now got, kind of almost equal highs with this one and this one here. Maybe we trade a little lower to that area of interest of mine, and then we get the move to 32, and then we get a large correction. I don't know. Maybe we trade to 32 from here and then dump. I don't know. But a move above this high, in my opinion, if a setup forms there, I think it's a fade. Whether we drop first and then take it out or go up from here and then take it out, I don't know. But either way, this is a liquidity level I'm aware of. And if it gets run and we get some sort of bearish reaction like this, right? Big move up and a close below, I would take that as an opportunity to fade. Okay. But yeah, that's the plan for Bitcoin. Super fucking clear. Hopefully I tried my best to make it as clear as possible. Okay. So let me rip through the chat here. I'm going to start with the Twitch chat. Big Bear Bulk says, let's fucking go Mayne. What's good? What's up, bro? Kagi says, evening, Mayne. But still got Trudeau. I know, we still got Trudeau. Vote for Pierre Poilievre in 2025. Please, God, save our country. Hey, Mayne, what's the best prop firm for crypto? I don't really think there is one. The problem with the prop space with crypto right now is you're trading crypto on a broker like 8cap or Think Markets or Purple Trading or whatever. And the crypto that they offer is a CFD, right? It's not spot. It's not real. So their spread is horrendous, right? Like if you're swing trading and, then prop crypto can be okay, right? It could be okay. But go look up the spread on Bitcoin right now on 8cap. I bet you it's somewhere between $10 and $20, right? Whereas on Binance or Bybit or Bitstamp, it's $1 or less, right? So that spread will kill you, especially when you're trading in a prop environment that has very strict risk rules. So right now, there's not really a good option for prop with regard to crypto. What up, Gingernaut? Trader Rudden, what's up, bro? Appa 2K, sorry, sir, but do you prefer MetaTrader for everything? I hate MetaTrader. MetaTrader is awful. I like TradingView. TradingView is my. I wish I could do all my trading through TradingView. But yeah, I like trading on TradingView. And I don't mind most of the centralized exchanges UIs. There's also things like Quant Tower, Teal Street, In Silico's Terminal, that are really good options as well. But MetaTrader is like from 1995 and has not been updated. The only time I use MetaTrader is when I'm trading FX and I do all my charting on TradingView and then I enter on my phone on MetaTrader. But the MetaTrader desktop app, horrendous. And most brokers now will allow you to log in through TradingView, right? Like I trade on Oanda, 8cap. So lots of brokers here you can trade. You can log into BitGet, Binance. You can log into Bing on TradingView and trade that way instead of using MetaTrader. The other thing that you can do is there's copy trading things that you can like set up a demo account on Oanda and then link that to your, other prop firms or whatever you're using, your other brokers, and then any trades you take on the TradingView Oanda demo account automatically copies over. So you can do that too. But yeah, it's definitely trash. Mayne, I used your Prime code, but I can't DM me on Twitter since I'm not verified. God damn. I didn't know that was a thing. DM me on Instagram. Same name, Trader Mayne. DM me on there and I'll send you an invite. Okay. The neck is back. Yes, sir. Let's go Mainski broski. What's up, Thomas? How you doing, bro? Gregory Pineda says the Monday's range is only 1%. Yeah, it's pretty boring right now, for sure. Not a lot of volatility. This guy says, don't you guys have any shame always making fun of Mayne's bodacious neck? You're all sickles. All hail the neck lord. Thank you, Shiva, for standing up for me. It's about goddamn time. It's about goddamn time I get recognized for the neck lord that I am. I want neck merch. Like, I don't want to be that guy that sells merch. Like, I don't want or need the money. I would like give it away or something to charity. Like, but I think it'd be hilarious if I had like neck mugs, neck clothing and shit. And then I can donate the fucking money to like neck cancer, like throat cancer, I guess. That would be kind of funny. If you want neck merch, let me know. New monthly open, low, high close. Yes. Rip to all the Viper curve pool. Yeah, man, the curve thing is crazy. I'm not really a DeFi head, so I don't know the intricacies of exactly what happened, but it seems quite bad. And it seems like people are getting rugged by this bald thing on base chain, making millions and then not even being able to bridge out and then getting rugged. And now there's rumors that some people think the bald dev is SBF. I don't know if that's actually true. I'm just kind of playing into the rumor, but fuck that guy. I literally did my FTX claim and it's like stuck up in KYC and I can't fucking talk to anyone to move it along. Yet they're charging these legal companies are charging the bankruptcy trustees, right? Like the money that is left, they're just billing tons of it for stupid, what I imagine is redundant admin work. And then the people like us who actually want to try and get some money out of there, that pool is just getting smaller and smaller and they're making it very hard. I was already KYC'd, but now I got a KYC again, right? And they're holding up my KYC. They're saying my KYC is on hold. I'm like, well, why? I was already KYC'd. I don't know. Fucking nightmare. This guy says, I've been out of the Haven a couple months. How's it been since you joined? I mean, it's been great because I'm in there now, bro. Come on. That girls of yours is beautiful too. Thanks, Gregory. Thank you. Appreciate that. I told you she was real. Mayne is also bald. I am. This guy says, did I do K at Shambhala? I don't know. Did I? I don't do drugs, bro. Drugs are bad, okay? Drugs are bad. Let's get 100 likes here, boys. 68 likes, and we got almost 300 people watching. Okay. When the big box turns into a smaller box. Yeah, I'm tired of Cred roasting my box size. He's just jealous. He's got box envy. That's what it is. I can't imagine the personal vendetta you have against that moob carrying clown carcass at this point. Yeah, I definitely would fucking be on site with SBF if I ever saw him. You're welcome, Shiva. What up, Drew Durant? Okay, so it sounds like everyone's got a good understanding of my plan for Bitcoin. Okay, Roosh says, when drawing weekly levels for your system on Monday, do you A, use literal Monday's high and low, B, use pre-week, C, weekly trends, range high or low? So for my trading system, I'm using H12 market structure. I take the last swing high and swing low, depending on which way price broke on the H12. That's what I do there. As for Monday's range, that's a completely separate strategy that I use where I'm simply marking Monday's range and I'm looking to fade whichever side gets tagged first. Two separate strategies. Barbie or Oppenheimer? Barbenheimer. I heard Barbie was terrible. I definitely want to see Oppenheimer. Was Sham's a disaster for you? I had a blast. I'm just old. I was fully depressed for a few days afterwards. Body was in shambles. Bro, I'd like to say that you've helped me a lot in the last couple years. Seriously, man. Learning your trading style has changed my life. That's great to hear, Brandon. I'm really happy, man. John, the pup is having a nap. I like that you trade high time frame mostly. It's really hard to find high time frame traders. Mostly are degen scalpers. I think the problem people have with low time frame scalping is they think that because they're scalping and they're trading on the lower time frame that they're going to make more money, right? Because there's more signals, right? The lower time frame, there's more happening, there's more potential trades, but that doesn't mean you're going to make more money, right? It doesn't mean you're going to make more money. It means you could lose more money if you don't know what you're doing. I think when you're learning, there is an advantage to using the lower time frames because you get more signals. If you trade how I trade, there might only be one trade a week sometimes on Bitcoin. So how do you practice? Well, you can backtest, you can look at other assets, or you can use lower time frame to see more price. The other thing reason I really like high time frame trading is I don't want to be glued to the skin. I did that. I did the fucking 12 hours a day at the charts, and I'll do it again when the bull market is on and there's tons of opportunity. I'm on the charts way more. But when you trade high time frame, you have more time to do other shit, right? I've got a dog, I've got a long-term partner, I've got other businesses I'm working on, things I'm working on, I'm creating content. I don't want to have to be scalping, 10 hours a day trying to make what I could make on one swing trade. And for a lot of you who aren't trading full time, right? Like scalping is just not feasible. You can't do it, right? Like if you have a regular job, you got a wife, you got kids, you got, responsibilities, you can't be sitting at the charts for 6 hours a day scalping. Like when are you going to do that? Right? So if you zoom out and focus on the higher time frame, yeah, you're going to see less trades, but they're probably going to fit your lifestyle a whole lot better. Trading doesn't have to be your full-time income. Like if you have a job where you're making a good living and then you can also do some trading on the side and make extra money, like that's awesome. People get so caught up in social media, right? They see people posting. This is why I generally refrain from posting P&L, right? Sometimes I do when I want to flex, but I think it's mostly detrimental to everyone looking at it. And all it provides the poster is a little bit of dopamine where people are like, wow, man, look at all that money you made. But the negatives are, one, okay, like that dopamine hit you're getting from posting that big win is so fucking short, right? Two, the negatives are it's unrealistic for the vast majority of people to ever make that money. Like, if I post a trade with 100K P&L, most people will never make 100K in a trade, right? So it sets these false expectations because there might be someone who only makes, $500 on a trade, and they go, well, fuck, like I'm not making as much as Loma or Keyboard Monkey or Gainsey or Rookie or whoever, right? But that's like, if you can make $500 on a trade and then you can make 4 winning trades in a month, that's $2,000. Is $2,000 extra a month life-changing money? I would say yes. It might not be life-changing in that you're going to retire, but maybe that's your rent paid. Maybe that's your car payment paid, right? Like it sets these crazy unrealistic expectations, and I think that can discourage people. There are going to be some people that see that big number and they get motivated and say, holy shit, that's what's possible. But in reality, most people are never going to get to that number for a variety of reasons, and it can be discouraging. So like, I think that's a very big problem people have with trading is they have these unrealistic expectations. Like, oh, I got to trade full time and I need to be making 6 figures on all my trades to be successful. When it's like, in reality, if you can trade a couple hours a week, take a couple trades, make some money, and then that money accumulates every month over time, it can change your life, right? As a nice little side income. It doesn't have to be the full-time job, full-time thing where you trade all day, every day. Can you apply your strategy on the H4? Yes, you absolutely can. So if you were to use my strategy on the H4, what I would be doing is I'd be using the H4 to mark my range and my high time frame. And then I'd be using like the M15 or the M5, right? To do my entries. Or if you want to use the H1 as your range, then I would be using the M5 or even the M1 for my entries in here. Any trading book recommendations? I don't really read trading books. Trading in the Zone is one that people always talk about. But yeah, I'm not really a big, I don't read a lot anymore. I should read more. But I haven't read a lot of trading books, to be honest with you. I like mindset books a lot more, like Think and Grow Rich and why is the fucking name of the book? Like The Law of Attraction. I like business books. I like autobiographies. Those are the type of books I prefer to read. What up, Armus? Yes, SBF is indeed bald. That son of a bitch. Oliver Maldonado saying this helps a lot. You have no idea. I work 60 hours a week and feel FOMO a lot. Dude, exactly. Like I'm telling you, man, like most people shouldn't trade full time. Not only is it really hard and not nearly as glamorous as you think, it's extremely risky. And it's not, there's a reason why so few people do it. Like the risk reward is very hard to get to and get your head around. There's no consistent income. That's why you don't see, who wouldn't want to play poker for a living? There's a reason most people aren't entrepreneurs, right? And there's nothing wrong with that. You don't get benefits. You don't get, paid off time. There's no maternity leave. There's so many protections that you don't get. Having a regular job is totally fine. Like, and it's a good thing. Most people are like, hey, dude, I've got $2,000 and I want to make more money. What should I do? And I usually tell people, or they lost it all, I say, get a regular job and use that to cover your expenses. And then with the extra income you might have, fuck around with trading. Don't try and just jump into full-time trading. I think for most people, you're going to fail and your expectations are probably wildly inaccurate of what's possible. Most people, I think, are better off doing it just on the side, doing it just a little bit, getting that extra little income. And then over time, hopefully, especially if you get good at it, you can maybe transition to doing it more, where if your stack gets big enough, right? Like one of the things most people never do, right, is figure out how much money they need to have in their trading account to cover their expenses. Like people are like, okay, well, I got 50K set aside. I'm going to trade. It's like, okay, but from that 50K, do you need to pay your rent, food, cell phone bill, internet, or is that money separate? Like, are you covered for that, or are you using that 50K to cover all that? Right? Because then you don't really have 50K, right? Then you're trading to live, right? You want to have a buffer. You don't want to have to feel like you need to trade to pay your bills. You want to know that your bills are covered, whether by saving up a bunch of money before you try trading full time, or by having a regular job that covers all that shit. And then the trading, you're just taking high quality setups. You're not chasing trades because you need the money, right? But if you're risking 2% a trade, right? Well, if you have a $100,000 account, okay, let's say you do 2R a week, which I like a lot, doesn't sound like a lot, but you'd be surprised. Like if you could do consistently 2R every single week, doesn't sound like a lot, right? Doesn't sound like a lot. 2R every single week. That's 8R in a month. That's $16,000 a month on a 100K account. That's not including compounding, right? So you don't need as much as you think, but a lot of people don't think of all the other stuff in life that goes on, right? Because if you need that 2R to make sure your bills are paid, you're probably going to take some stupid trades that you shouldn't take and things like that because you're chasing the money, right? You're chasing the money. So this has been very ranty, this stream, but I think all of this is valuable. A lot of people don't give you the real talk, and I get why, because it doesn't sell, right? If I wanted to have way more followers, I would only talk about price going up only all the time. I'd be a perma bull, right? And I would shill my lifestyle as extreme glamorous. And yeah, I live a good life. I'm blessed. I live an amazing life. But I would just post pictures of my fancy car. I'd post pictures of watches. I'd post a picture of me with a laptop at the beach. But that's not realistic. I don't think I've ever taken a trade. Yeah, I've taken trades from my cell phone and stuff when I'm out or I'm not at home. But I don't sit out at the beach with my laptop trading. I'm in a fucking office. Like, you know what I mean? At a desk. It's very easy to sell that lifestyle. Like the Instagram, I'm making a big push on Instagram right now. And the reason I'm doing it is because I want to show people what's realistic. It's very easy to post lifestyle on Instagram and then sell trading signals. And that is how you fund that lifestyle. Like there's this guy named Lambo Raul who's a clown. He's an absolute clown. If you go on his page, he's driving multi-million-dollar cars. He's got a Rolls Royce. He's got multiple Lamborghinis. He's wearing a $500,000 Patek. He's showing huge withdrawals from a broker that he owns. Okay, what do I mean by that? He owns the broker, so he is manipulating the trades. He doesn't post any of his shit live, right? But at the end of the trading day, he does a review and he'll say, okay, well, as you can see here, gold came into this level here and I bought it and then I sold it here. And then he'll show you the screenshot on MT4, right? And it's like, oh, you made $40,000. Like, that's insane. And then you go to his profile and you see him with all these cars and shit. And then you see that he's got a signal service and you buy it and he's making 100 to 200 grand a month selling signals. And there's a massive amount of churn because the signals suck. And lots of people are leaving soon after joining, but it doesn't matter. He's got so many followers and people just see the glamour. They say, look, he's got the MT4 results. Like, you can fake so much shit so easily and make it look like you're trading real money and you're actually making it. When in reality, that guy's lifestyle is 100% funded by the shit he sells, not by trading. I know it for a fact, right? And could I do that? 100%. I could go giga cringe influencer on Instagram. But I would rather be on Instagram but post realistic shit that I've earned through hard work, as opposed to, of course I'd love to drive a Lamborghini Performante that's $1 million around Miami with a $500,000 Patek on. But I'm not that rich. I don't have that much money. I do well, but I don't have that kind of money. Could I if I fucking sold my soul to the devil? Of course. But I think there's better ways to make it. Mitch Ray's followers pay for his new Miami penthouse at $70K USD per month on Patreon. Exactly. Like, these guys aren't. That's what, like, I know I'm in the Haven now. And yeah, I've got an exchange partnership, but like, I already had the Rolexes. I had the nice Audi. I don't have a regular job because I made myself successful through trading and investing. I ran a successful recruitment company that I built up to be multi-million dollars. Like, I did it that way. I didn't, and yeah, it's not as much as, these, but there's newer trades. There's this guy named Alex Gonzalez, Lambo Raul. They all live in Miami. They all drive supercars. They all have crazy watches, and they all sell signals based on their lifestyle being like, look, all the money I make, and they're all faking it. And I know how, and I have proof that they're faking it. Like, it's provably fake. Yes, if I got all my money back from FPX, I could go and buy a Lambo right now. If I got half of the money back from FPX, I could have a Lambo. Tell them how long it took. I've been trading since 2013-14. I wasn't making money early on, but that's how early I got introduced to it. And I graduated university in 2011-12. And I started working in accounting and finance. And then I started my own company a few years after that, like years in the making. I wouldn't consider myself wealthy until very recently. The last few years, I've done really well. But for many of those years at the beginning, like, I'm 33 now. I'm not 22, right? I'm not 25 years old making, all this fucking dough like some of these people's are. Like, I try and keep it real for y'all. Thanks, bro. You're handsome too. Okay. Listen, I'm in a paid community with the Haven. Like, there's value in paid services. I used a ton. I paid for Tom Dante. I paid for ICT's mentorship. I'm not saying it's not good, right? But with the Haven, you got me, you got Loma, you got CBS, you got Pierre, you got Krillin, you got UB. Like, you got guys who have proven track records of making money publicly for free for years. I'm telling you, go to Lambo Rule. Look at him on Instagram. Tell me that like, I'm telling you it's fake. And I can prove it. If you're really interested, I can show you exactly how they do it. Like, it's bullshit. You're not learning anything from these guys. Moon Carl, great marketer, I guess, and he got in at the right time. But yeah, I mean, Moon Carl's worth $100 million. So and you know what? I can shit on these Lambo Raul guys and guys like this all I want. At the end of the day, he's got the Patek and the Lambo and the Ferrari, and I don't. But at the end, what I believe is, I can look at myself in the mirror at the end of the day and be proud of what I do and not have guilt over it or feel slimy about it. And eventually what those guys will do, it will blow up one way or another. It won't last forever. So I hope they're saving. Are you familiar with Abe Trade's work? Yeah, Adam's great. Love Adam. This guy says it's not rocket science. Fakers open hedge positions, show them winning ones, flash Lambo, and memberships come in. Dude, it's even like less deep than that. These guys buy brokers that they can just manually, after the fact, enter positions and it will show that it's a real account. Like, his broker is bullshit. Hero FX or whatever, it's bullshit broker. Anyways, this was a little bit of a weird stream. So we went very in depth on Bitcoin, okay? And then I yelled at you a whole bunch about a bunch of random shit. So I am going to power through a few other charts here, and then we're going to end the video because it's 6:15. I still got to go to the gym. Ethereum. Okay. Monthly candle. Took out the high. Basically the same plan as Bitcoin here, okay? We've got a weekly order block down here, and we've got that weekly breaker here. So this is your weekly order block right here, and then this is your weekly breaker, this candle that I've marked here. We ran this high, and it looks kind of heavy, right? It looks like it might roll over. So you go down to the 12-hour, and this to me is the same as Bitcoin right now. Very similar to Bitcoin, okay? We have some highs here within this 12-hour block. And then to me, the draw on price is 1750. Okay. So maybe we get a bounce up here. Maybe we get above here. But ultimately, I want to see us trade down to 1740, 1750. And just like on Bitcoin, I think 27.5 to 28K is where I want to see the higher low form. On Ethereum, I don't really think you want to see us trade below 1700 for any significant period of time. 1700 to 1750 is where I think if we're going to come down here, you want to see us exit here very quickly. So what do I mean by that? Look at this. Came below the level. Remember what was over here? It was that old weekly breaker, right? So we had that old breaker over here, right? Key level. We dipped into it. Came out right away. Same thing on Bitcoin, right? Remember this? Remember that breaker I had here? Literally, we dipped into the zone. Dipped into the zone. Took out the low. Made a low. Shifted market structure. And we were gone. Right? That's what I'm talking about on these charts here. If we're going to come down to these deep levels here, I want to see a reaction like this. I want to see a reaction like this. I want to see a reaction like this, right? I want to see a reaction like this. I want to see clear evidence that this is a run and then a reclaim. I don't want us to trade below here consistently, because if we do that, then that makes me think that we're going to break down. It's the inverse of this. If this was going to be a fade at the range high, you want to see it get out of the range and then back in immediately. But instead, this thing just kind of consolidates here and then ends up trading higher, right? So this is the kind of shit I want to see happen here. Okay? DXY, I called the move up on, right? Everyone was saying it was going way lower. I thought maybe it would go a little lower, but I said, hey, we're getting a big bounce soon on DXY, and I think it trades to 104 to 105, maybe up to 106. We came back within the weekly range here, right? Traded below. This is exactly what I'm saying for Bitcoin and Ethereum. Traded below and right back in. This looks like a really strong reclaim now. We're back above the range low. We got a very clean retest, and we're just pushing. This could still fade. So if this does pull back here, I would want to see it hold this 12-hour order block. But ultimately, I think that this trades up to here at least 104. Okay? And that would line up with a bit deeper pullbacks on Bitcoin and Ethereum. I'm in a short actually right now on this. It's not looking so good. Basically just a breaker play here, right? So you have your down candle for up move. We took out a high. We broke market structure. I shorted the retest, but it looks pushy. Even though the dollar is going up, this is going up too. So I might get stopped out of this here tomorrow. I don't know. I'm gonna hold the position though. I'm not gonna close it early. I'm comfortable with my risk. So we're above Monday's high right now. So for me to be right, we need to get back below Monday's high and then sell off. But if I'm wrong, which I very well could be, and it looks like I might be here, and this just isn't quite ready to correct, to me, the next level that's obvious is right here, right? So we have this very clear high here that looks like is the drawn price. Like I could get stopped out overnight here, but it looks like the drawn price here is this 46.40 level. And if that happens, right? So if we get that little push higher, like I took the short because it ticked the boxes, but it's probably a bit of aggressive trade because we have a higher time frame liquidity target just above us, and I'm shorting before that, so that's not really smart. And this thing has been in a very strong uptrend for fucking the entire year. So shorting is counter trend. I probably should wait until a larger, more obvious sign of rejection occurs. And if we keep pushing up, I think that could happen here. We've got this breaker here, okay, that we're trading into, and we've got this high right here. So if we trade up into this and then get some sort of rejection, that could give a very nice short, at least back into here. If it continues up from there after, I don't know. Okay. Yeah. Man, do you have a paid group for yelling at me? I should, man. That's something I'm good at. Yelling at people. Okay. Yeah, I mean, my stop's in place. Like, if I get stopped out on this, I don't care. It's 1%. Hey, man, what can you say about win rates? Is 40% decent? 40% is fucking great, right? If you're a risk reward, what your win rate needs to be talked about in confluence with the risk reward average, right? So if your average risk reward is 2 reward to 1 risk, you only need to be right 33% of the time to break even. So over 100 trades, if you get 33 of them right, and you're risking $1 on each one, and it's 2 to 1 RR, that means on the 33 you get right, you make $66, right? And then on the 33 you get wrong, you lose 33, right? So on 100 trades, you win 33, right? You lose 66, right? Effectively. It's obviously, 33.333, but whatever. So on this, you would win $66, okay? And on this, you would lose $66. So you break even. Winning only 33% of your trades. Do you think you can find a system that averages 2 to 1 RR and you only have to be right a third of the time? Because if you can make a lot of fucking money here. 40% is good. If you can consistently make 40% and the average risk reward is at least 2 to 1, and then you want to increase how much money you're making, you don't necessarily have to increase your win rate, but increase the average RR. Now, if you're getting 3 to 1 on every trade, you're even more profitable. You need even less trades to break even. How applicable are ICT concepts to crypto overall? What are the limitations? Everything I do is somewhat rooted in ICT concepts, all of it. So it's absolutely applicable. It's applicable on anything with a chart, in my opinion. The time-based stuff isn't as accurate. He has like some very precise macro windows and stuff where it's like, this is exactly when a setup's going to happen during the New York session or the London session or whatever. I find that stuff is not quite as accurate on crypto, but the activity sessions and the kill zones, they work, and the PA shit absolutely works. Vauhu says, my brother IRL says hi. This is him, BTC Sniper. What's up, bro? I think I chat you, don't I? We DM. We've gambled together before. Thanks, dude. I just checked my edge sheet stats. I'm 40.21% win rate. Well, if your risk reward is 2-1 or more, you're making money, bro. This guy says minus fees will put you in the red here. I'm speaking in generalities here. Obviously, there's costs of trading, fees and spreads and things like that that you have to take into account. But in general, you only need to win about a third of your trades to break even, ignoring fees, right, with a 2-1 risk reward. All right, guys. So I'm actually doing a back test right now on Euro USD. Hold on here. Where's the one that I want here? Is it this one? Yeah, like I'm doing a back test right now for the Haven, a video on my strategy, but the H4, H1. And I'm doing a run on Euro USD, back testing it. And on these are the stats for it so far. So the average risk reward's been 2.7. Basically, I aim for anywhere from 2.5 to 3R-ish. I've taken 20 trades from January 1 to the start of April. I've won a little over half, and the account's up almost 50%. And that includes a big losing streak here. Like I was up at 30K P&L, and I lost 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 trades in a row, and cut the P&L in half, but then ended strong. This is a really cool website. It's called FX Replay. I'm actually working with them to get some sort of discount code for my followers, some sort of affiliate code. So if you guys want to sign up and use it, it is a paid service. You can get a little bit of a discount using my code. But yeah, again, you do not need to win every trade. And that's another thing, right? Is like go look at Lambo Raul's page. How often is he posting any losses? Right? Almost never. Lots of these guys will never talk about losing trades and losing money, right? Almost never. Anyways, guys, I got to go to the gym. I got to take my dog out first, then I got to go to the gym. So I'm going to get out of here. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I know there's a lot of ranting and yelling, and I'm sorry about that, but hopefully you find some value in this. I assume that's why you guys still hang out after all these times. Can you give the homie Nick a shout out? He introduced me to your stream style trading. He doesn't let me forget patience is key. What up, Nick? How you doing, bro? But yeah, I'll be back. I'm doing another stream tomorrow, the Shitcoin Summer stream. So Shitcoin Summer stream tomorrow, maybe another video at some point. I'll have the condensed stream up tomorrow as well. Lots of stuff coming. If you want more of me, Telegram, Discord, all that stuff's on my website. You can obviously join the Haven as well. Link for the Haven joining below if you want live trades, more in-depth views on my system, things like that from me and other analysts. That's in the Haven. And obviously, we cannot forget the sponsors of this video, Prime XBT. It's been almost 2 years that we've been working with Prime XBT. So shout out to the Prime team. Thank you so much for the continued support. If you want to support me, one of the easiest ways to do that, use that Prime XBT link in the description of the video. Use code Mayne50, deposit some money and do some trading. You can trade things like Euro USD. I took this banger in there on Prime with crypto as collateral. You can trade gold. You can trade the S&P 500. You can trade natural gas, oil, all that kind of fun stuff on Prime. So thank you guys all for tuning in. I appreciate you guys. We're going to keep on grinding. We're just about at 40K on YouTube, which is exciting. Love y'all so much.